Hey, good afternoon. Matt Odell here with Odell Outdoors. Doing this video in response to a challenge being hosted on another Facebook group, Bushcraft Survival Preppers Outdoors. Bunch of great guys there. They're doing a monthly challenge every month this year, different topics. Last month's was a weapons build, a primitive weapons build. Try to make it from materials out in nature. Congratulations to Robert for winning that one. And because he won that, he gets to pick the topic for the next month. And this month, he decided to do wild edibles. January here in Michigan, not going to be a very big supply of wild edibles, but I'm going to try to come up with 4 that I think we can manage out here in the woods. First off is going to be snow. Snow I can turn into water, drinking water, maybe coffee, tea, whatever. It's not really an edible, but we all need water, and I think it's important to make sure you know how to do that. Now, with melting snow, it's going to take probably twice as much, maybe 3 times as much snow in that kettle to fill that kettle, because by the time it melts down, it's going to have to be considerably more snow to turn into water. Now, as I was getting the firewood around, I found another type of wild edible. And these are mushrooms. They're called Exidia ricisa is the scientific name, but everybody refers to them as an amber jelly roll. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not a botanist, not a survival expert, so do your own research when it comes to wild edibles in general, but especially mushrooms. But these are amber jelly rolls. They grow on deadfall limbs, mostly small branches. And if they were dried up, if it hadn't been raining for a while, these would be very small and dry. But because we had rain a couple days ago and then we got all this snow, these have plumped up. Now, I got some other ones over here next to the fire, because I wanted to thaw them out. Those over there are frozen. These have dried up because they were over here by the fire. So you can see the considerably smaller. You can see the size difference there. These are, plumped up, considerably bigger. These have dried up. Now these have turned somewhat back into their jelly form, and you can see how flexible they are. But those are called amber jelly rolls. They are like I said, a wild edible mushroom. They don't have much flavor to them. So if you're not a big fan of mushrooms, but you want to try some wild edibles, that might be a good place to start. They take on a lot of the flavor from whatever you put them in. So if you put them in a soup or a stew, then they're gonna take on that flavor. Now, got some shagbark hickory trees here. They call it shagbark because obviously the bark's all kind of shaggy. Got one here, I've got one there, and this one up here is another shagbark hickory. So I would guess that somewhere in the ground here, I'm gonna find some hickory nuts. I don't know. Here's the shells. Hopefully we can find some. There's one. Zoom in on that. That's in the shell. It has an outer shell and then the inner shell, which is actually around the nut. And you can crack those open and get the nut out of there. I'm not going to do any of this on camera. Here's another one. I'm not going to do any of that on camera because it would take too long. Here's another one. So that shows you some of those. I'm not going to do it on camera because it would take too long to crack them open and to make the soups and things like that. Now, here is another mushroom I found a few weeks back, and this is something important to remember about foraging, is if you find them, keep a mental note of where they're at for later use. Now, it's winter here, snow on the ground. I never would be able to find these if I hadn't remembered where they were at. And this is another type of mushroom. And these are called turkey tails. Now I uncovered these earlier, but they are a very pretty mushroom. And they call them turkey tail because if I could get one that wasn't full of snow, they are shaped like a turkey tail and they kind of have some of the same colors. Now you don't really want to pull the whole mushroom off like that. You want to leave some down in there for it to grow back for next year. Again, not an expert. Do your own research. I don't want you, there's some false mushrooms out there that look a lot like these. Look at that, that's full of them. And they are a very pretty mushroom. When I found these a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago, I took pictures of them because they were so pretty. Now I'm gathering up a handful of these because I want to make some tea later when I get home. These mushrooms are extremely good for your immune system, and there's even been some studies done and some scientific reports. Look at that, there's a bunch more scientific reports done on these turkey tails where they actually fight cancer. Breast cancer, lung cancer, and some other types, colon cancer, which is unfortunately a very deadly form of cancer for men and women, but I know they always talk about men mostly. But they have been found to help with curing breast cancer. So, turkey tail mushrooms, those grow on deadfall as well. They digest the trees, help break them down. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, so with turkey tails, like I said, they look like a turkey tail and they have the same similar color. When I get over here to the fire, I'll get one thawed out a little bit and show you some stuff. Sorry about the camera here. So that's a little bit better view of them thawed out. And then the back side is white and has tiny little pores in it where the mushroom pores would come out. And also, if you're feeling this front side, when they're not covered in ice and snow, they have a velvet feel, kind of a leathery, almost has some little hairs on it when they're not frozen. But you can take those turkey tails, put them in some water. You don't want to boil it, you just want to let it kind of simmer for 20-30 minutes. That's why I'm not going to do it on camera. And you want to cut them up into real small pieces, let them simmer for 20-30 minutes, and that's going to extract those useful chemicals that are in there. And as far as the amber jelly rolls go, you're not going to want to fry those because they'll act like popcorn when you fry them, because they're so full of water that they'll just sit there and pop in your frying pan. So I can get my glove off. There's the three forms of wild edibles that we've found out here. Again, turkey tail mushrooms. I do not know the scientific name, I apologize. These are your amber jelly rolls. Those are Accidia ricisa is the scientific name. And your hickory nuts. You break those open. I could use that hatchet right there on my backpack to break those open if I wanted to and get those hickory nuts out. And since we've been on camera, if I can do this without burning myself, we've already converted our snow into drinking water. So that is my submission for January's Wild Edible Challenge on Bushcraft Survival Preppers Outdoors. If you get a chance to check those guys out, if you're seeing this on Odell Outdoors, great bunch of guys. Again, congratulations to Robert, and I hope a bunch of you guys get out there and give this a try. It's not easy, it's winter, but it's out there. Winter edibles are not about filling your belly up. It's not about a 5-course meal, and it's not going to taste like steak and potatoes. But all of these All of these have a lot of nutrients in it that are going to get you through in an emergency. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you liked it. Go to Odell Outdoors on Facebook. Check it out. Have a good one, guys. See ya.